EW here. I got a scope to share. I wasn't going to do a video on it, but talking with my buddy Alabama Reloader, he urged me to go ahead and do it because it might be something that somebody's interested in, and I don't see a lot of videos on it, so I will throw it up there. This is Rydon or Rydon. I don't know rightly how you pronounce it. But this is the company that came out of the dust from Nikon. I believe there was a few people in there, either all veterans or veteran owned. And they make some pretty good stuff. This is actually my second Rydon. And my first one is a Primal 4-16, 1 inch. It's more a regular hunting scope. It's got a really nice reticle. It's called, not this one now. It's called the Hogplex. And it's like a ballistic plex. It's similar to a 30-30, but it's got a couple of hash marks for elevation. And they get wider, so you can probably do a little bit of ranging with it. You know, not ranging, drift, wind. So, it's a nice scope. I didn't review that either. I've had that one for a year or so. That one's on the 300 hammer. And if you want to see it, I can show it to you. Just leave me some comments down in the comments that you'd like to see it, and I'll happily do it. But I got this one because I liked that one, and a good friend of mine bought a much higher end scope from Rydon. And it was really nice. It should be. It's like a $2,000 scope. But this isn't anywhere near that much. It's expensive for me. They have, I believe they have 3 lines of scopes. They have the Primal, the Conqueror, and then one more. And then they break it down a little bit further. They have 3 levels of the one above this, 3 levels of this one, a 3, a 5, and a 7. And then I'm not sure on the Primal. I got a feeling the Primal is just the Primal and they just have a couple of different powers. But they may have levels in that too. Oh, goodness me. I guess I'm a little more tired than I thought I was. So, this one here, as you can see, it's a second focal plane, MOA, it's illuminated, and it's got this reticle you're looking at there. And I really like it. It's a really, really nice reticle. It doesn't change in size because it's, you know, second focal plane, which I like for a hunting scope. I don't care for a first focal plane for a hunting scope as a rule. And that is because where I hunt, the way we hunt here, everything is closer. So we're down on the lower end. We're usually down on 3, which is you see a pattern here. My favorite rifle, the previous video, a couple of videos back, has a 3 to 12. The last video you watched from the True Glow is a 3 to 18. And this is a 3 to 15. So you're seeing a pattern. I do like 2.5 to 3 as a start. But I like to be able to get up, you know, over 10 on the top side. So that's what you're seeing here. This one here is a 44 millimeter. The last one was a 50. And the 3 to 12 is a 56. I generally don't like them that big. But the reason I don't is, one, personal, both personal. Number one, I don't care for the look. It looks unbalanced. And number 2, generally it takes taller rings, and I like to get my scopes down as low as I can on the gun. I like low or extra low rings because I have a high cheekbone and I can get my head down, and I feel better when I really snuggle in and, you know, get that rifle really tucked in nice, as opposed to craning my neck up unsupported, which I despise. So that's why I don't like larger objectives. But I was able to actually mount that in medium rings. I almost fit it in low. So this being 44 seems small because most of the scopes of this power range are up near 50. So 44 is low. So enough yapping. Let's get it out of the box and look at it. I bought this used, so I didn't even get a manual with it. I've got a manual coming. I've contacted Rydon and they're sending me out a manual. And I have had it mounted, and I changed it, swapped it out for that True Glow you saw in the last video. This is, if you're just looking at dollars and cents, this is about on par with the cost of that True Glow. I think this is just under 5 bean sprouts. But I didn't pay that much because I bought it used. I talked with the guy, and I forgot why he sold it. I don't know that he even mounted it. I forget the story. I bought a couple of used scopes lately, so they kind of mix in my head. But I like the story, I like the guy, so I went ahead and bought it. And I like it. This scope does have a 0 stop, which is not set up yet, so you can change the turrets. I didn't ask him about locking turrets, which is the reason that this isn't on a gun right now. I love the glass. Super, super, super clear, super bright. It's probably one of the brightest scopes I have, next to that Hawk. It's amazing. It's really good. I don't know what glass this is. I just don't remember. I'd have to look and research. I know Rydon uses Chinese and Japanese glass, and I want to say the better Conquers are Japanese, but I don't remember for sure. What's on here for a level is one that I recently found from Monstrum, and I really like it. It's arched slightly, so when you turn it, it's instant. Most of the flat levels that you use, you kind of have to go too far, and then they jump, and then they jump too far, and you go back, and they jump, and then they go too far. They're really hard to use. This one being arched, it's instant, and it sits right still. So wherever you are canting the gun, it'll sit right there, and I really like it. And these are not overly expensive for what they are. Some of these things get silly, stupid money, and I don't think they're worth that kind of money that they're asking for them. This one here is, well, I hate to quote prices because YouTube doesn't like it, but go ahead and look it up. Monstrum, Amazon carries them, and you'll find it. The reason that I took this off of the rifle it was on, and back up really quick, you can remove this, just screws in, and it comes with a plug. Just one size. The reason this is not on a gun is because I think there was a mistake in the write-ups on this scope, because I would not have bought it if I'd have known that these turrets don't lock. Because, actually, let me back up a little. I really like the Nikon scopes. I had 4 of them. I think I had 4 of them. I had at least 3 of them. And they were great. Great glass. They worked great. No problems at all. But they all had non-locking turrets. And on a hunting rifle, that just doesn't fly with me. It just does not fly. I don't like it. I need to have locking turrets. And the more they lock, the better. My ideal turrets, because I'm a hunter, not a hunter first, is capped. I like the elevated ones, You know, the 3/4 elevated ones with the caps over them. Those are my favorite. But like you saw on the True Glow, if they'll snap down and not turn, they're okay. I prefer capped because then they're totally obscured. They're not going to brush on anything, your coat or, you know, your tree stand or your knee or a brush or anything. They're not gonna get touched because they're covered. But I own it, and I do like it a lot for glass, so it's going to stay. It's just going to get mounted on something that probably won't be hunted with. It'll be a target scope. And the downside of that is it's only 3 to 15. So if I'm going to have a target scope dedicated, I generally would have wanted a higher powered scope. So we'll see what happens. I may send this down the road and buy something comparable that has locking turrets. We'll see. Like I said, it's an expensive scope for me. It's a lot of money, and it's really good. I love it for glass quality. I love the reticle. It's an awesome reticle. But I mean, they don't lock. That's a big thing for me. Because like I say, I'm a hunter first. So, but I am considering a build of a target dedicated rifle. So maybe I'll put it on that. So there we go. There's my review of this Rydon scope. Really good eye relief. Really good and forgiving eye box. Zero complaints. You can see right to the edge, crystal clear. No distortion at the edges whatsoever. You will not be disappointed. No locking turrets. That's big for me. There we go. It does come with flip-up caps, front and back. I just don't like the rear ones. I take them off. But it's in the box. That's it. Rydon Optics. 3-15 by 44 Conqueror. There's the model number. God bless everybody. CW out.